What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a rather exciting new Transformers card to be looking at. There's been a lot of them lately, but then again, we are deep into spoiler territory for Wave 3, and I, for one, could not be happier. We are having a little bit of a chat about Callous leadership. Now, there's something amazing about Callous leadership, and it is this. I have been saying since back in Wave 1, being a Decepticon leader is kind of pointless, there's no card to help you out. And that was true, incidentally. And way back in Wave 1, we got Matrix of Leadership for Autobot leaders. Although, incidentally, that's all we've had for leaders so far. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we've got Callous leadership, and now we do have something which can help out those Decepticon leaders. And it's glorious. It is such a good card. So what does it actually do? Well, it's got a white icon, which is nice. When you flip it while attacking or defending, you get to flip 2 more cards, which is cool. And it's an action card that reads, move up to 5 damage counters from one of your Decepticon leaders that has 8 stars or more to one of your other characters. That's ridiculous. Now, to be fair, it isn't full-on healing. You're not healing those 5 damage, you're moving them to another character, which is not completely ideal. But to put it another way, you are moving damage from a character you don't want to get KO'd to a character that you don't really mind being KO'd. Obviously, you'd rather not have them KO'd, but you don't really mind so much. You're trying to protect your big bad boys so that your slightly littler, slightly less bad boys can take the hit. I'm cool with this, ladies and gentlemen. I am cool with this. So the question really becomes, which characters can actually use this? Now, this is a part of the video where I get really mad at Decepticon Venin, because Decepticon Venin ruins it. If it wasn't for Decepticon Venin, I'd be able to go Megatron, Shockwave, Starscream, Soundwave. There we go. They are your 4 characters that have 8 stars or more and are leaders and are Decepticons. But in comes Decepticon Venin with his 9 stars. La-dee-da. Never mind. Now, there is actually a slight exception here. We do have both the Starscream and the Megatron from the Wave 2 starter set, the Megatron versus Bumblebee starter set. Now, firstly, they're both fewer than 8 stars, but secondly, neither of them are actually leaders, so suffice to say, you're not going to be able to use it for them. But outside of that, Megatron, Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave. They are the 4 characters we're really focusing on here. Now, there are 4 Decepticon leaders we've got that actually fall under the threshold at the moment. We've got Raider Visper, it's a Micromaster, it was always going to. And then we've got Razor Claw and Motormaster. They are combiners, the vast majority of them are under 8 stars. The other one we've got, and this is really the big sad one here, we're not having Insecticon Scrapnel. Now, incidentally, we have to not have Insecticon Scrapnel. That's actually really important. You see, Insecticon Scrapnel's got the redonkulous ability whereby it can only take 3 damage from an attack. So, you sit there in bot mode, you only take 3 damage. And then you only take 3 damage. And then you play this to move 5 damage off, and all of a sudden, your opponent can't KO you. And then you can play this again to move the damage off, and you could, with careful play of this, almost kind of make this character near invincible until you only had Scrapnel left on the field. So I get, and incidentally, right, these cards aren't designed in a vacuum. I am 100% certain, well, let's say 97%. I am 97% certain that the reason this helps Decepticon leaders with 8 stars or more is because Scrapnel has 7 stars. I am sure that's the reason. But don't worry about it. We've got some really, really good characters here. I mean, one of the characters I am most excited about from Wave 3 is Major Soundwave. Major Soundwave looks like an awful lot of fun. And, of course, it brings with it its little helpers. You got Raider Laserbeak and you've got Raider Ravage. You've also got a health of 15, and health of 15 is pretty gosh darn tidy. Now, both Raider Ravage and Razor Laserbeak are small characters, but they've still got 7 and 9 respective. And what you can do here, because they've got tap abilities, you can kind of take advantage of this. So if we look at Raider Ravage, you've got a tap ability, do 1 damage to an enemy. If that enemy has 4 defense or more, do 2 damage to it instead. So what you can do here is tap this, use the ability, and then use Callous leadership to essentially knock it out, but it doesn't matter because Soundwave is what you're really focusing on here. He is the one you're really trying to make work. Now, of course, when you attack, you untap your Spy Patrols. If you just KO them all, that's a bit sad, but it will work, ladies and gentlemen. You can get some stuff rolling. Another character I'm super excited about from Wave 3 is Major Shockwave, who's actually sitting there with a health of 17. Which is huge, incidentally, and a defense of 2, which means you're not easy to take down. When you start playing around with Callous leadership, you become even more difficult to take down. And one of the reasons I love this with Major Shockwave is because you can always look at the top card of your deck, and if the top card of your deck is a Decepticon card or a secret action, it is essentially in your hand. You can play it as if it was in your hand. This is a Decepticon card, so not only will this help Major Shockwave majorly, but it will also be playable if it's the top card of your deck. Doesn't need to actually be in your hand, which is another massive advantage. Not enough? How about this? Both Major Shockwave and Major Soundwave have more than 11 stars. Which brings me to one of the cards that I was lucky enough to be able to reveal from Wave 3, Energy Pack. Energy Pack can be put on a character that has 11 stars or more and gives you plus 4 health. Now, as I explained in the video, you are vulnerable to stuff like Vaporize here, which can remove it, and then if you've got enough to KO you without it, but not enough with, you'll be instantly KO'd. So if Major Shockwave, for instance, has 18 damage counters on, and then they remove your Energy Pack, you will be instantly KO'd. Okay. But you essentially have 21 health and a card that can heal 5. And of course, it's a utility, so you can still play something like Force Field. And I am sure there is a deck somewhere, there is a build, which can just take advantage of this. Using Energy Pack to increase your health, Force Field to mean you can only take 4 damage, Callous leadership to kind of heal off, while having 17 health. That is not an easy character to KO. And sure, maybe you never find your Energy Pack or your Force Field. Maybe your opponent can get rid of them straight away. Maybe you never find your Callous leadership, etc. There's all manner of ways in which this can go wrong. But I don't even care. I think this is a phenomenal card, which can really help them out. And it's not going to be for everything. There is a very narrow list of cards that can use this. The other thing to remember here is that maybe you play like a double Megatron deck, but generally you're playing 2 of these at the most. So there's a very good chance that you're playing this, but it only works for one of your characters. So in a Soundwave deck, you're probably playing Soundwave with Laserbeak and Ravage. So this only works for one of your 3 characters, and that's it. Then it's kind of pointless for the rest of the game. But these are risks you take. This is a phenomenal card that helps out some of the best characters in the game. I mean, we all are in agreement, I hope, that one of the best, if not the best character from Wave 2 was Starscream Decepticon King. This helps it out beautifully. Major Soundwave and Major Shockwave look like 2 of the best, or at least most interesting cards for Wave 3, and this helps out the pair of them. Now, very quickly, before we finish, I do just want to give a complete list of every character so far revealed that can use this. And if I forget one, drop it in the comments and I'll pin it. I'm sorry. Back in Wave 1, we had Decepticon Shockwave, Megatron Decepticon Leader, Megatron Living Weapon, Starscream Air Commander, and Starscream Scheming Second in Command. Flash forward to Wave 2, we had Megatron Arrogant Ruler, Starscream Decepticon King, and Decepticon Venom, who ruined my Shockwave, Starscream, Soundwave, Megatron thing. Sorry about that. And then so far from Wave 3, we've had Major Shockwave and Major Soundwave. You can never know which cards are going to see play. You never know how the meta's going to shake out until we actually get the cards released and we start testing. But I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this looks like so much fun. This looks like it can give a huge boost to some of the best cards in the format, best cards in the game. And then when you start using stuff like Energy Pack and Force Field as well, this looks like so much fun. So I'm a fan of this, but I'd like to know if you're a fan of this. So please do let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at @Wossy, where we talk about games like Transformers and also a whole bunch of others. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.